In this video, we'll talk about how to do the horizontal wind checker. And so, if we scroll down from our print board array to here, we see the value of turn will either be X or O. So there's this string that's passed over, and I know you haven't used methods or dealt with methods much, but some other part of the program, the idea is some other part of the program will send you either an X or an O in the container called turn. And so you can just use the container called turn to do your job. And so if we read this statement up here about this method, we're told that this is how you should read over this. But basically, if you find a win, you write the line of code that says return true, and at the bottom, if you don't find a win, it just you should leave return false down there. And you'll see what I mean in just a second here. Okay, so how do we check for a horizontal win? What is that? Well, it means that in any given row, there are 3 turns, whatever is in turn, whether that be an X or an O. So we have to look at each row. And how do we look at each row? Well, we write a loop. So we say for int row equals 0. Row is less than, we want it to go as long as row is less than board.length. And we say row plus plus. And then what are we doing inside here? So say we have the row 0, and we know board length, the number of columns, there are 3 columns. Okay, so there are 3 places there. It needs to be 3 in a row. So we can just write an if check. We have to check if all those things are equal to turns. So if we have 3 turns in any given row, we should send back true. So we say if board at row and then at 0 dot equals turn and board at row 1 dot equals turn and board at row 2 dot equals turn. Sorry, it's a little hard. Oh, I should just minimize this and you'll be able to see everything. Then return true, because we have found a case in which all 3 columns have turn in them. Now this is one way to do it. There are many other ways to do it, but this is fine. So we create a loop to look at all the different rows, and then we say if in any of those rows, if board at row 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, and 2 equals turn, whatever is passed over in turn, which could be an X or an O, we don't care, but all we need to know is if all 3 of those things are equal, there is in fact a horizontal win. And so we should return true. We should tell whoever's using this method, horizontal win checker, that in fact, yes, we found a horizontal win. Okay, and so that is all I'm going to tell you about how to do the win checker methods. And so your job is to figure out how to write the vertical win checker and the diagonal win checker in somewhat similar ways to this one to make your program work. And that's it for the whole series of videos on how to make tic-tac-toe work. Once you do these successfully, you should have a working game.